Okay, we are live. With that, music. Okay. Sorry, as usual, I just gotta adjust my setup slightly right when I start. Yeah, I forgot to change my title, but we're basically just working on the same thing anyway. Alright, let's see. Let's see how we're going anyway. Fast compile always takes a little bit. Gives me a moment to check my audio though. I'm slightly paranoid about that after one time where OBS just did not do my audio correctly. Fuck. I feel like this is an attack that has consistently been, like, not great sometimes. That attack is pretty cool. And this is the latest one we were working on. Which this definitely needs some rebalancing too. I think if anything it just needs like less upwards gravity. As weird as that sounds. That's how the gravity works. I just give it a negative gravity so that it'll accelerate upwards. Alright, let's look at this. Hello, Jinx. Good to see you. I'm basically just working on the same thing as last time because I still can't spoil shit. Yeah, good to see you though. Hope you are well. No worries, just nice to hear my voice. Thank you. I appreciate that. I realize I should probably skip this attack. I should skip all of these. Just use the dev tools that I have. Why not? Okay, I guess the only problem with doing it like this is bullet density. Oh, and also nerd target spawn, so we need to fix that as well. Alright. So I guess we should probably just do this. Like, we can reduce it a little bit. Make it mod 7. So every 7 frames it spawns 2 of them. Yeah, the missing targets is definitely the worst issue, for sure. Makes the attack literally unbeatable. Well, I guess you can technically time it out, but... I mean, that could actually be a kind of cool idea to have one of the attacks be like a timeout, but... Not that one, though. What else was I gonna do again? I completely forgot what I was gonna do. Oh yeah, the targets, right. Okay, so we need to copy and paste this, basically. So that's phase 3, technically. I'm pretty sure, at least? No, okay, so this is phase 3. This is phase 4. Yeah, I think that's fine, although we will have to change, like, where it can spawn. It's just gonna require me to look at this. Well, the main thing currently is I don't want it to be too far away or too close to the edges. So I'm just looking at something real quick. I guess I could try and get this to show up on screen. Maybe? Ah, yeah. So these are like all of the spawn zones. So essentially, how the targets work by default is you have like a spawn zone, so all of the targets must be touching the white area. I basically just have a bunch of images for this. I think this is the one we want for this attack. So, which should be image 7. Yeah. Okay. It's an interesting way to do it, but it makes sense. Yeah. So it makes it pretty easy to just define like a general area for the targets to spawn in, and of course, you know, depending on the attack, it's not always going to be good to have the target spawn anywhere, because then if it's coming from one side of the screen, yeah, if it's coming from like one side of the screen, then having a target spawn really close to that would be kinda shit. quite frankly. Okay, so let's see. And this is sort of what controls like that spawn zone script. So I need to find one that has like warnings coming from the bottom of the screen. Okay, it should be this one, I believe. Because this also controls where like the yellow warning signs are as well. Actually, I'm just gonna paste this first. Just copy paste this. Make life a little easier. Oh, actually, I guess this is... I should paste that here. Because it already has the check for the pattern. Okay, so I believe this should make it so that the warning signs for that attack come from the bottom, and it makes the target spawn somewhat towards the middle. Should be what it does. Interested to see if it works? Yeah. So we can also like check what spawn zone it's actually using. So like I have like this is just a dev tool essentially. Just like show the spawn zone. Okay, so it did set it correctly. That's good. I forgot to check if it was showing up. Oh god. This attack is still really hard. I forgot to check if it was showing the warnings at the bottom. So, I need to double check that. Okay, yeah. That means it's set up correctly. Now I just need to rebalance this attack. Because currently it is pretty rough. That time it wasn't too bad. But obviously I don't want it to be like too like randomness dependent. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, it still looks really intense. That's true. God. Reading. Uh. Interesting. I might turn it down just one more tick. Hmm. Yeah, the rest feel like they have a real flow. Yeah. That one looks like fighting against the current. I guess in a way, yeah. Um. Okay, so I could just make this a timer of 8. We can just try that as is. See if this feels any better. Hello, Goopy Gob VT. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Let's see how this feels now. Okay, this actually feels fine. Ugh. I mean, apart from the fact that I suck. May have to give that another... either another try, or... I think I just need to test this more. Because that's the thing that's hard about making a boss like this, is I don't know if this is actually, like, too much or, like, unfair without just testing it a bunch. Because, like, that time it felt fine. I just need to make sure that it's actually, like, a skill issue and not, like, you know, a situation where it's like I couldn't have possibly dodged something. Just passing through on your way to grab dinner and stuff and came across me doing cool guy stuff. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I hope the dinner's nice and all that. Alright. Is there a way I could make this better at all? I actually have an idea. What if we made the speed greater, like the maximum speed, but just made it so that when it bounces off the wall, it becomes slower again? That could be cool. See me around sometime? I can have this for my travels. I can, like, barely see what that is. Oh, okay. You have emotes. Cool to see. I do like that. It's like the long cat memes. Very cool. Bob? Is it? You also have a lick. Nice. Very cool. Okay, so we need to go to bullet. Somewhere here I should have script for Hellfire. Yeah, so currently I just have it so that it's times -1. I could have this so that it's times, like, -0.8. Yeah, not a bub, a long goopy boy. Or gal, I don't know. um, yeah, like I can mouse over it because I'm on desktop. Not sure about you, but yeah, it's like a slime person. Okay. Ah, God. Okay. I keep forgetting to skip the attacks. Hang on. Fuck. I ran into the boss. I was not supposed to do that. Alright. Okay, I actually like this. I'm seeing that I'm not getting, like, as much, like... Because the problem I was seeing from before is that some of them would rebound and be, like, way too fast. This feels a bit more fair. By comparison. We'll test it more just to be safe. So, like, for an example, that one. So I guess that's the main thing with this attack, is that the rebound is what makes it unique, so I want to keep that. But obviously I don't want it to be too, like, overboard. It looks feasible? Yeah, definitely. I might see if, like, one more frame of delay would be good. But maybe I just need to get good. Like, once again, that was fine. See, that situation looked kind of impossible to me, which is the only problem. Like, I think that maybe I could have gone, like, down and then around. But, like, they kind of just closed in around me there. I don't know if I necessarily want that to be possible. That looked terrible? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the RNG is rough. Maybe I could even, like, make this not RNG? So, like, okay, I have an idea. Potentially. We could make it, like, less RNG. So, like, here's sort of an idea. So we set this. So what if we set speed to be based on the timer? So we need timer plus 60 mod 120 divided by 10? Or did it need to be divided by negative 10? Sorry. So this would essentially make it so that it'll, like, accelerate and decelerate the amount of speed it's giving bullets, like, based on the timer, while still giving them, while still at least giving them, like, a randomized Y speed and gravity. We'll see if this is any better. So this is gonna look a lot different as long as it's working correctly. Like, it'll be a lot more symmetrical. Somehow this feels better. Interesting. So that still looked pretty random to me. But it also seemed possibly too easy. I want to just quickly test this. Like, if we comment all of this out, we just set this to like a flat number. I want to make sure it's actually spawning them correctly. That was weird. I just want to make sure this is actually spawning exactly how I want it to. Alright, let's skip this as usual. So this should be completely symmetrical. In a way, this is almost cool in its own right. But yeah, so that shows that it's... Well, actually, no. Hang on, this is kind of weird. It's not actually symmetrical. That's strange. Let's check that out again. Hang on. So, like, hypothetically, it should be converging there, but it's not doing that. So why is that? What have I messed up here? Hang on. Bizarre zigzag. Yeah. That is really strange. I wonder if this is related at all to what I introduced with the bounce mechanics. So if I go... Oh, not case sensitive. If I go back to where I define the behavior for this. If I set this back to -1, will that make it work? See if somehow that's doing something. Okay, so that is causing it for some reason. But I'm not sure why. Shouldn't be causing anything like that. Also, I'm almost considering keeping the attack like this. I think this is pretty cool. Like, as is. But yeah, I don't know why the rebound isn't working correctly. Also, hello, Zell. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I like the zigzag as well. I think it's pretty cool. So yeah, I don't know why the rebound isn't working though. Or at least when I do like a different value for it. Let me take another look at this. I guess it's not a major issue if it doesn't work correctly, but let's see. So like I had this 0.8. Did I like accidentally have one of these as like a positive? Maybe? Yeah, so it's just cool so you can get why I want to figure out what went wrong. I mean, like, it still rebounds, it's just... Essentially, I wanted to make it so that when it rebounds, it loses a bit of speed. Which I feel like makes sense, and also makes the attack feel more balanced. But yeah, for some reason it just doesn't like that. Which is weird, because that behavior shouldn't be triggering for... these. So like, if I go... what is it? Bullet... Hellfire. So like, the ones... I should actually comment this. So this is... if it's less than... yeah, so this is for the ones that are coming from the right. And these are the ones that we're having a problem with. Which is strange, because if we look at this, we're checking for their X speed to be less than 0, which means it's negative, which means it's going, like, from right to left, which is correct. We're checking if the bounding box, or the left of the bounding box of that bullet is less than 0, and 0 is just the left side of the screen. So there's no reason that this should be triggering on the right side. But that seems to be what's happening here. Like, the only other thing I could think of is that it's somehow triggering this one, but this one shouldn't be triggering either. Because, once again, it has a negative X speed. It shouldn't be like that. Unless I mess something up, I think. Did I forget to set the X speed correctly? I see what I did wrong. Okay. It's because I have to multiply it by the sign of the offset, so I now know what was wrong. Okay. We got there eventually. I had to rub a duck it a bit. Alright. And also I want to try, just... I want to try something else real quick as well. This could be interesting, like increasing the frequency of the zigzag is essentially what this should do. See if this is any good. Yeah, the rebounding should now work correctly. Figured out it was because the ones spawning on the right side were not getting the correct speed set. So instead of having negative speed, they would have positive speed to start. And they'd kind of just get stuck bouncing for a bit. Okay, this is interesting. And there's still some randomness to the attack due to the spawn zones of the targets. Might be slightly too easy, if anything. What if we turn this down to like every 7 frames? Try that out. Gonna drink some water as well. Okay. Ooh, okay. That's... It can be hard because of the boss following me. Maybe we turn it down a little bit. So quite possibly every 8 frames would be a good sweet spot for this. Wait for Urbias. The slow yet powerful caterpillar, yeah. Exactly. That's another thing I was considering doing for this stream is like... And I may still do this later. It's like doing... like the spriting for this boss. Okay, I am not very good. Wow. Alright, let's give that another try or two. What if I just stick to the top? Okay, sticking to the top does not seem too good. Oh god. The spriting, not the dying, yeah. I gotcha. So this is probably fine. Although, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change, like, how much momentum it retains on a bounce again. I feel like that's the main thing that's messing me up, is the rebounds is still a bit too quick. So we try 0.6. Okay, so that felt better. Can try that again. Now I'm almost scared that it's too easy, but at the same time, I think with the boss following you, like, it makes the attack a lot harder. Oh god. And like, the way I got hit there didn't really feel like I got hit unfairly either. And like, that time I just didn't escape the boss correctly. It's like, the best way to escape the boss here is to actually go through the top, is what it feels like to me. In which case, that's fine, like, that feels consistent. Oh god. Yeah, I don't know, it's weird. I feel like I just need to test this, like, a lot more. But obviously I don't want to dwell on this for too long. Like, that time it was fine. But I don't know if that's just because I got better target spawns. Oops. I used my special by accident. Test it one more time. I feel like that's fine. It has... I think it has a good enough, like, consistency to it. Like, I think the hits that I was taking there were just me being bad. So, I'm fine with that. If nothing else, we can just leave that for now. And, like, we can just come back to it and rebalance that later. I am noticing a problem with that attack, actually. Is that sometimes the target spawn way too close to the side. Which was definitely odd. Shit. Okay. I ran into the boss. Okay. And so what do I have as the spawn zone for the second attack? Because I think I need to tweak that. Okay, so I have it at 29 currently. What does spawn zone 29 look like? Okay, so yeah, that definitely is too much for that. I don't really have like a really good image for this. So instead, what I'm gonna do is create a new one. So let me just duplicate this. Put this at the end. Alright, we're gonna erase a couple off of the sides. And there we go, that's our new spawn zone for that attack. Very, very quick and easy. That's the other cool thing about making the spawn zone system like this, is that it makes it very easy to just quickly create a new target layout. So now I can go and change this to 31. Oh yeah, I forgot. I added... because I added a new image to the spawn zone, it had to recompile the texture sheet, which is why that took so long to recompile. Okay, we're back though. Alright. Okay, so yeah, this is our new spawn zone for this attack. Which should feel a bit more reasonable, since this is an attack that comes from the sides. Yeah. It's cool. Oh god. Ugh, suddenly going counterclockwise here is not good in that attack. Oh. Okay, that was risky, but... Okay, cool. So I think that's all pretty good. Which means we now need to make another attack. Yippee. Which I don't even know what I'm gonna make yet. We're gonna find out. Just try shit. That's basically how it goes sometimes. So I'm gonna copy this. This should be phase 5. So what if we just took away this offset? We have this not bounce, not track. Oh, hang on, we need to set this to false. And same here. Okay, so this is just going to be a very generic, like, circle attack, the way it is right now. We can just look at this and see if this gives me any ideas. Yeah. So you can see here it's just like firing in a circle. Now, of course, the caterpillar following me does make it a bit more unique, but obviously this is still very bare bones. So needs lasers. It's funny you say that. I was thinking of making an attack that had lasers in it, like for this boss. I almost think like there's this Calamity boss, like Terraria Calamity mod. Um, like one of the final bosses in the game is a worm boss, or a part of it is a worm boss that has like a beam attack. So, possible. It's on the table. I guess for now. Okay. So this should vastly increase the amount of bullets that are appearing. By approximately 10 times. Oh god. Nearly dodged it. Yeah, let's skip while I remember. This is actually a bit interesting. Given that you're being followed. Obviously, I think this is still a bit too much. Like, I don't know, it just... This isn't bullet hell enough, you know? Like, the bullets are too dense. There aren't enough of them on the screen, like, spread out. There's not enough hell in this bullet. We need to add more hell into this bullet. Or perhaps more bullet into this hell. One way or the other. So maybe we have it like this instead. Yeah, you'd be confused at the density level and all the blank space. Exactly. Like, usually in a bullet hell, you try and keep the screen as somewhat, like, you know, even with the spread of the bullets. So the attack just didn't feel right. See, like, this is a little bit better. Although obviously still not super balanced. So I think what actually could be interesting here to try out, what if I increased the speed of the worm? Or the caterpillar? Yeah, it's still a little bit odd. So, like, what if I tuned down the bullet density and just made the boss really fast? That would be kind of funny. So currently, what speed do I have by default? Okay, slight problem that I'm just noticing. Slightly less slur, but still equally intimidating caterpillar. I mean, maybe not even. Maybe we just let the caterpillar go berserk. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. So it should be in the boss script. Yeah, so currently I have the fuller speed at 2 by default. What if I just double this? Berserker pillar. Yes. Exactly. Alright, so we set the boss's fuller speed to something greater. Equals 4. Now there is a little bit more adjustment I have to do here. Because essentially, oh god, where did I put this again? Oh, hang on, yeah, this is it. I think? Oh, no. So, I remember now. So this should be in, I believe it's delete RBJ. Is what I'm looking for. Okay, here we go. This is the tracking script. Gone mobile again, so back to having no idea what's happening in the code portion. That's all good. So, this here is how, like, closely it'll follow the boss. So what I believe I need to do here is set this to 80 divided by the boss's follower speed. Because this was 40 and the default follower speed is 2. which should mean, yes, this would be 40 by default, and then when we double it, it would half this. Yeah, so that should fully work. And we can be even more sure that this works by setting it to something even more absurd. Like, what if we just set this to 8? Make it 4 times as fast. Super fast, aggressive caterpillar. Alright. Quadruple speed. I forgot to skip again. Ugh. Okay. Skip. Whoa! Oh my god. Wait, this is kind of cool, although the transition into it was slightly jank is the only problem. Ooh. Or JBR. Yeah, I got music on. Exactly. Watching me with freshly washed strawberries. Ooh, sounds nice. I hope the strawberries are good. Personally, I am a strawberry enjoyer myself. Oh. Okay. I think this is cool. Like, oh god. Yeah, strawberries are top tier for sure. Yeah, I think the S tier fruits for me are like strawberries, like bananas. I don't know what else, honestly. I'd have to do like a whole fruit tier list to figure that out. But yeah, they're definitely really good. Alright, let's set the speed to 6 instead. You like blueberries and strawberries? Okay. I'm not much of like a blueberry person myself. So yeah. Trying to think. I mean, I feel like I just haven't had like that many different fruits if I'm being honest. So I don't know if I necessarily have any like hot takes here. Never really tried them on their own, but blueberry muffins a god tier. Oh yeah. Don't have to eat blueberries by themselves, you love baking with them. Ah, okay. Well then I guess for me that's kind of similar to bananas, because I really like banana bread, personally. And like, of course, bananas on their own are also pretty good. But banana bread is even better. Sorry if that makes me hungry. Nah, it's all good. To be honest, like... Oh. Okay, to be honest, like, I don't really get, like, hungry from talking about food. It's kind of weird. So, like, I've heard for other people, like, that's kind of a problem. It's like, you know, when other people talk about food, they'll, like, get hungry or want to, like, snack or anything. Like, to be honest, I'm just not much of, like, a snack person. So, like, I'm good. Talk about food as much as you like. It's all good. So the only problem here with changing the speed of this, I'm just gonna redo this so that I can skip it. The only problem is when you turn up, or when you change the speed, it just looks kind of jank. Like, for lack of a better word, it's like you can almost see the boss locking in. But no, like, seriously, like, it does... The segments look kind of jank there. And, like, I imagine... Like, maybe I know why. That's troubling. Like, how could I... How could I prevent that? I guess I'll have to try and figure that out. Like, off-stream? Normal cute crawling motion. Yeah. I'll have to try and figure that out off-stream, because that's gonna be more of, like, a technical headache. And, you know, obviously I don't want to be tackling, like, too many, like, purely technical things on stream, because it's just not that fun to watch. But, yeah. You were thinking about this game earlier, and you thought that could be a way to cheat the game by moving the mouse outside of the game and put it on the other side. Do I find that a problem? Sir, the funny thing about the hitbox in this game, so, like, if you look at the character, the hitbox is actually bound to the character. It's the small red dot. And you'll notice that when I actually try to move the mouse outside of the screen, you can see that she actually remains, like, in the border. So that's, like, a little detail I had to add with, like, unlocking the mouse. So you can see in the bottom right corner, I'm actually... Oh, actually you can't, because my V2 model. But you can see, like, in the bottom right corner, like, I can move my mouse independently of the sprite, because the game keeps her inside the border. But then as soon as I start to move back into the space that she can move in, then it's fine. And, like, same with all of these corners as well. So you've got that, and you've got this. So yeah, basically she sticks to the mouse if she can, but otherwise she can, like, independently, like, just stay in a spot. So there's no way to, like, cheese it. Curious why I separated the character and hitbox from the mouse. I mean, originally, yeah, it's multi-purpose because originally it was just, it was a detail done because it just makes sense in the lore. But yeah, it also has that. And so, like, another interesting exploit that I had to fix with this is the idea of zipping. Because, obviously a mouse allows you to go so fast you can kind of just zip. So at one point, there was a problem, and even though it wasn't super consistent, like, there was technically ways to, like, zip through attacks. So you could, like, potentially just skip through all of that by going fast enough. Like, you'd basically warp. And the way that I fix that, although I can't showcase it, because it's invisible, but essentially what happens is that the game tracks, like, if you're going fast enough, the game will actually check for points between the position. So if on one frame you're here and on the next frame you're here, it'll actually check every so often, like, along that line to see if there are any bullets there as well. So it essentially stops you from abusing teleports and, like, botting to, like, change a screen position on the mouse or something. It helps prevent those exploits. Yeah, anyway, enough of me ranting about that. I'd like to try maybe doing this. Maybe we do this twice and we just spawn one on each side of the worm. Whoops. Interesting, I thought way ahead of you. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what you have to do as a game designer. Let me just move myself back here. But yeah, you kind of have to think about those things as, like, a game designer. And, like, solving those problems. So here we want to increase this by 180. This will essentially have bullets spawn from both sides of the worm. Well, not both sides of the worm, but you'll see in a minute. Basically, it'll spawn 2 bullets at once going, like, opposite directions. Which will just make the attack look a bit better, because it'll be more symmetrical. The only problem I have with this is that it looks like the way that they're spawning looks a bit too straight. If that makes sense. Yeah, we could try something a little different here. Um... Hmm... That's definitely a way to solve this. I'm just trying to think, like, what specifically. Hmm. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna quickly turn up the speed on this. Like, just a small adjustment. Yeah, maybe, like, wiggles the bullet spawn a little bit. Okay, what if maybe... No. Okay, I have an idea. What if we increase this by just 50%? So the streaks of bullets have like a parabola shape? Maybe. God, I don't know enough about math to think about parabolas, to be honest. So, like, funny thing, I've never talked about this. Um, but I actually dropped out of high school, so I missed, like, whenever parabolas would have been covered, I missed that. So, like, honestly, I'm not entirely sure how they work or what they are. I know that it's, like, geometry related or, like, lines. It's like some, not trigonometry, like some, it's some graphing or, like, line thing. Okay. This feels a little bit better. Interesting. You dropped out of college. It's in algebra, trig, and calculus and stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You could remember the word wave. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. I kind of had the opposite issue. Like, I dropped out of school in like grade 10. And it wasn't even that I was like getting bad grades or anything. It was more so that just like school was not like a nice place for me. For lack of a better word, like, I don't know, where I grew up was kind of weird. Like, I've since moved, but where I grew up was kind of weird. I didn't really fit in with a lot of the people. And so it just became intolerable eventually. And I ended up like dropping out due to mental health. But then I eventually went to university and finished that, so yeah, interesting. School is strange. Um I don't know if maybe this is still like not quite what it should be. That's fair enough, yeah. So I'm trying to think of what I would do here. Okay, hang on, hang on. I have ADHD and just struggled to stay interested. Didn't have amazing grades. I just got into uni off test scores. Yeah. It's interesting. Trying to think of. I want to talk about my experience here as well because, like, I think this is an interesting topic. Is timer mod in GMS essentially alarms in Game Maker Studio 2? So mod, I'll go back to what Jinx was talking about earlier in a second, but essentially mod is just dividing with a remainder. And the reason why this is useful, if I can like quickly bring up a sprite to explain this. But essentially, getting the remainder is useful for doing timers, because, for an example, you can have like 60, or like something mod 60, and so it basically means it'll, if you have like a running timer that increments every frame, like you can then divide that timer, or you can do that timer mod 60, and it'll always just return a remainder between between 0 and 59. And then the moment that it wraps back over to like another multiple of 60, it'll go back to 0. And so it essentially works as a timer that can trigger, like, you know, if you want something to trigger every 60 frames, then you just check if the mod equals 0, for an example. So then only every 60 frames will it equal 0, and so it'll only spawn a thing every 60 frames. Yeah, so that's what mod is. It's just dividing with a remainder. Yep. Yeah, controlling time passing as a variable, pretty much. But yeah, with what Jenks was talking about, like, I don't know. Okay, so I just don't know if I should really reveal this. I'm like second guessing myself. I'm just gonna rip the band-aid off. Like I'm an autistic person. So like I struggled in school a lot. Like not even necessarily with grades, but you know, just with once again fitting in with everyone. So wasn't like a great thing. But in university, I was surrounded by a lot of like pretty like-minded people who are all studying the same thing and like who all wanted to be the same thing. So that was like that made it a lot easier for me to get through university. So yeah. Autism can be really hard socially. Yeah, definitely. Social differences can be brutal in middle school and high school. Yeah. It is definitely a thing that's kind of rough. And like, you know, I like to talk about it just because I feel like, you know, I don't want to like alienate myself as like, oh, I'm an autistic person. Oh, look at, you know, woe is me. Like I don't want to be like that. But no, I want to be able to like bring it up casually and just, you know, accept that is, you know, some of us are just different, you know. Makes you sad, but a lot of your friends with autism did drop out regardless of how academically inclined they were. Yeah, and that's exactly it for me. Like, I was getting good grades, once again. Like, the grades weren't even the problem. It was like the stress of like studying and keeping up with things socially while just not really having that support group due to being autistic. you know? So yeah, it can be rough. Okay. I need to test this again. Sorry I had to go through that. No, that's... You have no need to apologize. You're not responsible for them. Or like, you're not responsible for the people that I had to be around in school. Or have more people in my life to support me now. Yeah, it's all good. Once again, know that I don't bring this up as like a sad topic. I don't really want to be like super sad about it. Like things are a lot better now, like generally speaking. So, I guess if there's any good takeaway to have about this is that, you know, if any of y'all are struggling with a similar thing, you know that there are people out there like you, and you just need to find them. And like everything's gonna be alright. So, yeah. Sam sorry that's an expression of sympathy. Yeah, I get that. I feel like a lot of people do. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know, I just... When people say that they're like, sorry, I don't know, it makes me feel kind of bad. I don't want to make people feel bad, is the main thing. That's not what I'm here for, you know? Like, if anything, I want to make people happy if I can. So... Yeah, as long as you know that, you know, you don't have to feel bad for me or anything. Like, I'm all good now. You know, life has improved, life goes on, you know, etc. I'm trying to find, like, a good balance here. What if I did, like, 15? People out there like you to go out and find them and trap them in a friendship and never let go regardless of how they scream. No, I feel that. Would be hilarious advice, yeah. For sure. Most people, they feel empowered if they have a disability. It's not what you can't do it, it's what you can do given the circumstances. Yeah, for sure. And like, especially like something that I really enjoy sort of coming from like the VTuber community and like, you know, video games and game development and all of that sort of more technological stuff. It's like, especially if you consider like more physical disabilities, like a lot of those things are so much more accessible than like any other like job or hobby has been in the past. Like you look at people like Iron Mouse who are like, you know, completely immunocompromised, like basically bedbound, who are still able to just go out and do like absolutely amazing things for people. And just really make like a positive difference. So, yeah, VTubing and video games and all of that are pretty cool. I do enjoy that about them. Yeah, it's crazy how great accessibility has become. And like it's only getting better and better as well, which is really cool to see. Anyway, you feel pretty unempowered when the executive dysfunction hits and you can't call the doctor for a few months or take the trash by the door to the dumpster. Interesting. I'm actually not familiar with that, Tom. Let me, like, look this up quickly. Ah, okay. Think Zero is legally blind and he's out here slaying monsters and stuff on the daily. Yeah, that's super cool. Definitely. Yeah, I I have to agree with you. Like I've never heard of the term executive dysfunction. Um but like just googling it and like from how it sounds it kind of reminds me of having OCD because that's another thing that I deal with is OCD and another one of the main reasons that I dropped out of school. Especially when it comes to like, I have bad OCD with like washing my hands. Like I get very scared of like diseases and sicknesses and stuff like that. So I like really overwash my hands. And like back when I was in school it was even to a point where like I didn't have any therapy or anything yet for that, like no medication, no therapy, like nothing. So it made being in a public space kind of a nightmare. So yeah, it's definitely a very hard combination. And yeah, once again, things have gotten a lot better since then. I've since like been through like therapy. I'm still on medication to this day, but it allows me to live my life, so I don't really mind it. But yeah, that's part of the cool thing of being able to work on a video game too, is like, I can work on a video game from anywhere. It isn't like other jobs where, if I was going into like an office or, if I was doing construction work or anything like that would be rough because I'd have to like physically go out to places. But yeah, yay technology. That's essentially the main takeaway of this entire conversation. It's hooray for technology. Like goddamn. What a lifesaver. I realize I should probably continue to do work. So let me just quickly double check what the boss does. You work in a tech field and you get to telework most days. It makes life way easier. Yeah. And like of course there is sort of a drawback, especially in like my case with like you have to be very self-motivated is the thing. So like procrastination is kind of an issue when it comes to working on a game from home. And like I'll admit full well like that like even I have times that I just completely just procrastinate, do like basically no work in a day. If anything, like yesterday was kind of a day like that. I spent most of yesterday just playing Terraria. Whoops, I should test the attack I actually need to test. But yeah, you can definitely get stuck in a position where, like, the self-motivation aspect of it can be rough. Okay, this attack feels strange now. Hmm. How the hell would I make this feel better? Um... Yeah, and like part of the reason I even started streaming and having like a stream schedule and all of that was specifically to try and instill like a better work pattern. Since like obviously developing this game is like my main stream content. So therefore having a stream schedule kind of forces me to work on the game. So yeah, very good way to do that. Try and remain self-motivated and disciplined. Okay, I'm thinking maybe I should make this attack just fire in random spots instead of doing what I'm doing right now. So what if we like randomize the direction instead? Let's just comment that out. Do 360. See if this feels any better. Okay, this is kind of cool. Maybe we could even have this be like just semi-random. So like we have it rotate, but then we also apply like a slight offset to it. I think that could be cool. Kill me, worm. It is time. I am ready. So maybe we do this. And then we have a random range function. Yeah, kill me, worm. I am ready to transcend. Okay, so this should be anywhere between -18 and 18. So this should essentially still spin it, but then it can be any, like any amount of offset. I explained that poorly, but you know, depending on how it looks, you may see what I'm talking about in a second. Yeah, so you can kind of see it still follows a spiral, but then it also, like, kind of randomizes it. Oh god. But I am just trying to think, like, how would I have this end up in a way that is, like, paused, so that it doesn't just immediately loop? Because that's the only problem, is that currently it only has, like, 10 different angles that it'll be at by default at any given time. So it kind of looks weird. I don't know, or maybe it's fine though. Yeah, it looked pretty cool, but it feels like it is missing something. You know what would be kind of evil, actually? What if we added, like, tracking fire to this? Like, obviously not to all of it, but... What if... What if... Every... No, let's say every, like... Every 2 seconds, it will spawn one that tracks. We do a directional speed of like 9. We have tracking to be true. Set the tracking delay. I mean, we could even set this to like... No, we need to have it at 60 by default. And then the angle will point in the direction of the player. Actually, this should be inst.x, inst.y, then the player's x positions. Random range gives you a decimal, whereas irandom range gives you integers. So it should be more random since there are more numbers in the decimal. Yeah. I think it's fine for now. Like, that aspect of the attack. Even if I kinda suck at it. And, like, maybe I should turn this back a little bit. So yeah, it should now point at the player, should track, should gain a bit of acceleration. That's another thing I forgot to mess with here. Like, I feel like maybe this should accelerate a little bit faster. Yeah, the occasional harming bullet. I think it's cool. Yeah, why not? We'll try that out. Hopefully I should have set that up correctly. Make sure I skip this before I forget. Oh my god, the target spawned behind the worm. The caterpillar. Whatever it is. Ah, okay, so there we go. We have the tracking bullets now. That is pretty interesting, although I almost feel like there aren't enough of them. You know, this gives me a very awful idea, but I just want to see what would happen. What if we just set everything to track? I can almost assure you this is going to be awful. Like, this will almost definitely be terrible. But I just want to try it. Yeah, we're here for awful ideas. That's the fun of messing with shit. Alright. Without further ado... I mean, it almost feels possible if you, like, stick to the edges. I want to see that again. Yeah, so you kind of need to stick to the edges, but... That's probably a way to dodge that. Even if it's kind of dumb. Alright, here, maybe we should try just turning up the frequency of the bullets. Or, like, of the tracking bullets. Not you encouraging my most evil ideas while knowing you can't even get past the normal difficulty levels. Oh, that's all good. I am all okay with that. But no, that definitely would be a bit too evil. Make future Ichi suffer. True. Oh god. Let's talk about the boss we'll never reach. I mean, I believe in y'all. I'd like to believe that anyone could make it to this point at the very least. Oh god. I spawned the target in a bad spot. That's my fault. Speak of the devil, hello Ichi. What's going to happen to you? Nothing. Don't worry about it. There are no problems. We're definitely not creating evil. I do like the tracking bullets here. I think they're neat. Makes the boss feel a bit more aggro. And like you can even do that and sort of like turn, which is cool. Oh god. Hide the code. You're gonna become the best player in the world at this game. No one is stopping you. Tracking bullets adds an insane amount of intensity. Yeah, they're pretty cool. And like I use them in more attacks than just that one. So like this is where they're sort of introduced, so it's a bit... This attack is definitely a little bit easier. And then this is where it gets a bit more creative, so you have this sort of like spin around, but then you can also like occasionally weave through them. Oh god. I'm not doing a good job at explaining what I mean. But yeah, you can't just find a spot to hide, exactly. then this is where the worm becomes fast. Oh god. Yeah, it's pretty difficult, but I feel like it's kind of fair. This looks so fun, you want to play it now? Well, you know, hopefully by like mid-July, this update should be out. The only problem is that June is going to be a very busy month. Like, there's a lot happening because there's 2 game jams that I want to participate in. And like they may even be overlapping, so I may not even be able to do both. But then Shadow of the Erdtree is happening as well, and I want to stream that. Because like, you know, I want to play that day one, and yet it's releasing during at least one of the game jams. So yeah, in June, I'm basically gonna just be doing everything at the same time. Onion ring clutch up? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. The Elden Ring, yeah. And like y'all have been tempting me as well to like uh go back to it even earlier, to be honest. Because I know that like Jinx is in the middle of beating Tree Sentinel. I mean, let's be realistic. Um but I know that Ichi also has an Elden Ring stream planned. Do I have like a shout out command? I should shout out both Jinx and Ichi. Both of you are really cool. Thank you both for being here as well. I really appreciate that. And I think shout out has a cooldown, but I'll shout out Ichi in a minute. But no, like both of these people in chat right now, they both stream. Really cool people, you should follow them. If there is anyone other than those two. Gotta do what makes you happy. If I don't have time for everything, it can take longer. Tree Sentinel is going down whenever you get back on. Yeah. Glad to be here. Aw. I'm glad. Yeah, loving how great the chat is at the moment. Yeah, y'all have been really nice. I really appreciate it. Let me see if I can shout out Ichi as well now. I believe I have the username correct. I have to wait another minute. Damn it. Okay. So I guess we have to figure out how we're gonna spawn the targets for this. Love the character having the same Crocs you do at home. Yeah, for sure. I like the whole shoes thing. Like, it was just a bit of, like, customization that I threw in, like, towards the start of development. Yeah. Clutched up by seeing me beat Resident Evil 4, so of course you're gonna be here to support me. I really appreciate that. Crocs are insane. Yeah. Oof. Now, I will say the only thing about having an active chat is I am realizing that my amount of work is very quickly dwindling. I suppose that's okay, though. I'm still getting something done. Alright, so I'm gonna get this in here. Slip is clear. Fuck work, we ball. Active chat equals Jinx immediately dies in game. Yep, that's how it goes. Alright, I think I should be able to shout out Ichi now. One moment. Oh my god, Twitch, stop filling in the... Let me just do it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, everyone here should follow Ichi and Jinx. Both really cool streamers. Like, both been super supportive of me as well. Like, I appreciate them a lot. You don't know how Ichi balances it? He drove a jet ski directly into a rock yesterday because you were reading chat. Yeah, exactly. See, that's what I'm doing right now, just only figuratively. I'm doing the exact thing, it's just the rock is the game that I'm developing. Got really busted up on a real jet ski, and you'll tell the story if you never tell. Oh. Oh, you'll. Okay, sorry. I'm having a reading comprehension moment. Hang on. Got busted up on a real jet ski, and you'll tell the story if you never tell your chat. Okay. I assume you're talking to Ichi there. I'm gonna just leave that. Um, I have to promise not to tell them. Oh my god. Done some stupid stuff on your bike too. I'm trying to like figure out. Oh, I'm on the Discord. Oh, okay. Yeah, speaking of Discord, I have a Discord ping. Oh, okay. Not important. Since you don't have a bike or a car, bike used to be your main shit. Old bike was exploding. Ah. Personally, I'm like a public transport person. So interesting interesting to hear all the things people use. Bikes are scary though, like genuinely. Like especially if you're talking like a motorbike or a bike on the road. Like, man, be careful out there. There are some really crazy drivers. Like some absolutely crazy shit happens to bikers. It's really horrible to hear about when it happens. So like, yeah, hopefully if you're car gang now, like you should be fine. But like, man, be careful out there. It's rough. Not a big deal. No promises to keep it a secret needed. You just like to be dramatic. Ah, okay. You stand on it and the chain would fall off while riding on a crosswalk. Shit almost got me marked. Yeah, that sounds horrible, honestly. Yeah. Um Okay, I need to mess with the spawn zone again. Like I think this should be an okay. I need to set this to image 15. I forgot if I read this, but yeah, you're in London, so transport is somewhat good and you can get by without a car. Yeah, yeah. London mentioned you can travel the whole country in 20 minutes. Interesting. I've never been to like London or the UK or anything. To be honest, I've never been outside of Australia. Like I don't know. Just never really had the time or the money to do so. Let's go. We can add what is it? Okay, so this should be good to reuse for this phase as well. 5. Ooh, I gotta catch up on chat. Okay, you went riding on a jet ski around some rivers and stuff where you live for a bit. Tried to do the really cool 180 spin people do. Like the one I think I know what you're talking about, yeah. Where it like sort of skids the water everywhere. That's cool. Gotta throw your weight to the front of the jet ski, point down into the water to pivot it. Just didn't have enough mass to force the ski forward. That checks out. So instead it swung up and literally spanked you off it. You flew. Wow. Damn. Wow, I'm an Aussie. Thought I was American. So like that's the funny thing here. I'm in Australia. I've been in Australia my entire life. And like I think that's probably evident in how I pronounce things sometimes. But I am also half American by heritage. Like I'm American on my dad's side. So because of that my pronunciation is kind of like mixed. And like even more so because you know, I've obviously spent a lot of time on the internet as well. And like another thing is like so this is an interesting thing I've heard about is that like you get a bit of like accent carryover from people who have like grown up on like American cartoons as well. Like even depending on like what someone watches as a child, like that can influence their accent as well. So yeah, I've just that's why my voice is kind of strange. Like it's kind of yeah, it's like mixed Australian and American. So it's kind of odd. That explains why you thought I lived in America. Yeah, that's weird. Whereas you have a mixed accent, but definitely sound a bit Aussie. Yeah, really depends on like what I say at any given time. Like typically, like to be honest, the way that I pronounce things will largely depend on like clarity, to be honest. Like sometimes one pronunciation over the other like can be like better. And that kind of goes both ways as well. Cuz like for an example, like I feel like generally speaking American English is typically a bit more pronounced. Like you know, you think about words like color, like an Australian would just say color, an American would say color, like they kind of pronounce the R a bit more, right? Which can make it a bit clearer. But then on the other side, you have like one that gets me a lot is my dad when he says the word gym, like GYM, he sometimes pronounces it the same as like gem, like a crystal or a stone or something. Like he pronounces it gym, like gem. It's kind of odd to explain, especially since he's a bit more like southern. So dad calls potatoes patatas. Same with tomatoes. Oh yeah, that's another good example. Tomato. I pronounce it tomato. Which I know to some people is like blasphemous, but I don't know. That's always how I pronounced it, personally. Uh, I need to actually test this attack. Oof. Okay, that felt kind of unfair. What, too distracting? God, there is a lot of stuff to catch up on. What's my favorite cartoon? So I don't know, like I feel like for me it'd be kind of weird to describe my favorite cartoon cuz like I didn't really grow up on a lot of TV like towards the latter end of my childhood. Like to be honest, once I got to about the age of like 14, like I kind of stopped being into like TV and movies and all that. If I had to choose though, like I honestly think Regular Sure would be my favorite cartoon. Like easy. Regular Sure just solars any other Sure, to be honest. Like they kind of solved like because Regular Sure is a slice of life sort of Sure, but without the shortcomings of a slice of life because it isn't afraid to go like super crazy and just like it's a slice of life in the sense that there's not really like an overarching plot and it mostly just follows like Mordecai and Rigby and like their sort of antics. But the show just goes into so many like crazy territories. Like it's every single episode is just kind of its own like self-contained like mind fuck basically. So I don't know. I really like it. Yeah. Went to Australia to see a big bro and extended family before COVID. It's a beautiful, stunning country. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Um, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be able to judge because I've never been to a different country, but yeah, it's pretty nice there. Like Australia tends to be a pretty good mix of like rural and like urban areas. Like you go into like the city and you get sort of that like city vibe, but then you also have like a lot more like lesser developed, like still first world of course, but still like lesser developed, like more sparse like civilian areas. It's pretty cool. um One time we were trying to ride no hands and no legs and it did not go well. I mean, at that point, how do you even no hands and no legs? So were you like accelerating with like your elbows or something? It's hard to write out dialect. You have to sound it out the way. You have to sound it out to me next stream or something. Because the way he says it is too funny. So like my dad has like a similar thing. Like I already mentioned the thing with gems. But like another one that's kind of weird, and this is one I haven't heard like ever, basically. For some reason, my dad says he was always taught to pronounce the word poem as poem. Like almost a P or I am as poem. And it's like, where in POEM do you get poem? Like that's odd. For real, the second you found anime on YouTube, it was raps for cable. Yeah, so I was a similar way just with like video games though. Like obviously I watch like a little bit of anime, but now most of what I watch is just streams. Like VTubers especially have taken away like any reason I would ever have to watch anything other than VTubers and like live streamers. Like I don't know, it's just really cool. Just reminded me of the guy on the bus who sounds just like Benson. Yeah. Regular Sure was a piece of art, definitely. Arguing with the bus driver. Like the anime Nichijou for similar reasons. So Nichijou, that's an interesting one. I tried to get into Nichijou at some point, like a couple of years ago. Like, I don't know, I found it was a bit like slow to start, and I didn't really get into it. But I've definitely heard a lot of good things about it. Seen some little clips. FLCL. What's FLCL? Oh god. Adventure Time clips. I am really struggling to keep up with chat. I apologize. I'm just gonna skip to the front. English has some whack shit too, like how Kansas and Arkansas are pronounced differently. Yeah. Convinced Kansas and Arkansas are a way to prank non-native speakers. I do know that one because of just because of the memes, actually. Like, I'm pretty sure that's right. Because, like, the entire meme is like, oh, why do they call it Kansas, but they don't call it Arkansas? Like, no, it's Arkansas. It's pronounced Fooly Cooley. Like, FLCL? Interesting. Fooly Cooley. It's fantastic and should be a must-watch if you're into anime. Interesting. Yeah, America Explain. Exactly, that's the one. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, that is the exact meme. That's basically how I figured out, or how I found out that it's called Arkansas. Yeah. Very funny stuff. Yeah. What do you mean it's Arkansas? Yeah. Interesting. I'll let y'all continue to watch anime. Watch anime. Talk about anime. No watching anime in my chat. Only talking about it. I think for now, like, we have this phase sort of done. I think maybe this is a bit too fast to start off with. So we can tweak that. This guy's going back to coding. I mean, honestly, I may end stream in a minute anyway, just because, you know, today I was planning on a shorter stream, and like I know that, like, for you and Jinx, it tends to be getting pretty late at around this time anyway, right? Dirt, you swear to God. Okay, jeez, okay. If you end stream, you kill me. Alright, we'll do something else. We'll do something else. Okay. Let's see, so let's see. We are going into the 7th phase. Woohoo. So this is actually phase 6. Must remain completely distracted from what you want to do. This is the only way. I mean, okay, how about this? I'll see if there's someone I'd even want to raid. Ooh. Okay, I do have a potential raid target, but I'll do something else for a little bit quickly. Like, we'll see if we can ideate on a phase 7. This is the only way. You have to go to bed soon. To be honest, you just wanted to stop in while the doggo was knocked out. Yeah, by all means, if you do have to go, like, that's all good. That's completely fine. I just appreciate you stopping by. And like with the whole dog thing, like, yeah, I am sorry to hear about all of that. Like, I'm hoping things are all going well with the doggo. definitely unfortunate to hear about all the stuff happening with that. I won't dwell on it though. Okay. So maybe... I mean, maybe we just keep the faller speed the same way. What if we did, like, an attack that's a bit more, like, predetermined? So we do if boss phase equals 6. Thank you, gonna drop for the night. Had a lot of fun stopping in. Yeah. Good night. I hope you sleep well and all that. Great rest of my evening. Yeah. I mean, it's afternoon right now for me, but yeah. But, you know, happy time zones, as they say. Okay, actually, a good attack to copy here would be... what's it? Like this one. Yeah, happy time zone, y'all. Okay, so we're gonna copy and paste this instead. So here's kind of the funny thing, is that we're gonna start at the top of the room. Oh, sorry, at the... this would be the top of the room. And we're actually gonna repeat this. Gonna repeat this 20 times. So we do X offset here. Just took a nap so your ass is cooked for going to bed on time. You hate naps for that exact reason. Yeah. I tend to try and avoid naps myself. But like the weird thing for me is that if I'm to crash at like any time of the day, I find that I tend to crash at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon or like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know what it is about the afternoon, but it just, like, afternoon is just prime time sleepy hours. I'm gonna be real. Like, I don't know why. It just really knocks me out at like 1 or 2 p.m. if at all. Although I will say lately, I've been sleeping like pretty alright, so... Okay. 240 here. Sleep is hella important for real. Yeah, definitely. Very hard to maintain, yeah. So, like, the interesting thing for me as well. So, I've had sleep issues in the past. And, like, I went to... like, I went to a sleep clinic, right? And they got me to, like, take home this device that they had to, like, strap to me to, like, monitor my sleeping. Because essentially I was having some pretty bad sleep apnea at one point. Interesting thing that they found. Some nights I just don't get REM sleep, apparently. Like, apparently I am just a super restless sleeper. Which is kind of fucked up. So, like, genuinely, I sometimes just don't get REM sleep at all. And, like, it's weird because I get to bed super easily. Like, a lot of people, they have the problem of, like, they'll lay in bed for multiple hours and won't be able to fall asleep. For me, I fall asleep very quickly, but I just don't, it just isn't good sleep. Yeah, it's very strange. So, honestly, I don't know how I'm alive, but they said it was alright, so, we take theirs, I guess. You used to have the issue of not being able to fall asleep. Speaking of sleep, super late over here in the UK. Good night and thanks for the awesome stream. I hope the game development goes well. Yeah, by all means. Yeah, I have a friend who's also in the UK, and yeah, it'd be about like what 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. right now. Pretty crazy hours. So yeah, if you need to head out, I totally understand. Definitely pretty crazy. Yeah, now it's easier, thankfully. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. One of your BFFs is from Wales. He's 5 hours ahead of you. Interesting. Yeah, so like, for me, time zones have always been interesting because, of course, like, I'm from Australia. I'm kind of like ahead of most people. I'm at like plus 10, personally. So then you have like the UK, which is more like central time, like either like zero, like anywhere from like -1 to 1. I think the UK might just be like 0 collectively. But then I have like an American friend, and like I don't know what time zone they're even in. What time is it for me right now? It is 1 p.m. currently. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I gotta set like a Y offset variable. Y offset equals 0. Set this to Y offset. Y offset equals room height divided by 20. And we need an I variable as well. I equals 0. Room height plus equal. Oh, we can just do plus equals room height divided by 20. So it's Ali AF for you when I start stream. So yeah, I start stream at 11 a.m., which means I have to wake up at 10. So yeah, kinda early. But at the very least, it helps me have like good sleep habits. So, we take those. We take those. Um, I think here we can do y offset equals room height divided by 40, I suppose. Well, no, that would spawn it at 0 still. Shit, I'm trying to figure out how to do this. It'd be... No, because it should be... I guess you would do 0 plus room height divided by 40. But then I can just leave that as this. I think. You know, we'll just test it. We'll just test it. Also, why you pick tactical camel over girlfriend? It's a very important decision. Yes, I remember seeing that poll, and I did in fact vote tactical camel. Oh god. Okay, welcome to the most balanced Undertale fan game attack. Yeah, welcome to literally impossible bullet pattern. That was fun. What was that? That was my very balanced bullet pattern. Um, so this is more so what I want. This is kind of cool, like being chased while you're doing this. It feels very frantic. Of course, I think I need to balance it a little bit more, but yeah, that was pretty cool. Getting chased. I think really all that would be needed is like a more consistent. How did I set this up again? Okay, so I think I should just have this at like a consistent like 9. Fixed it really fast, yeah. You're expecting the bullets to end before hitting the middle. When they kept going, yeah. Yeah, essentially it was just spawning them a bit too tightly. So, pretty easy fix. Like, all you really need to do at that point. Like, all you really need to do at that point is just half a couple of values and it's fixed. Alright. Let's take another look at this. Okay, apparently I fucked up. I fixed it as quickly as I broke it. Okay, I think this has to be like -9. Is the thing. I think the bullets are currently going in the opposite direction than what they're supposed to be. Alright. Okay, that's a bit too fast. I mean, I can try that again, but that felt a bit overboard to me. Yeah, so like the main problem is you don't really have time to like transfer to like a different spot. So we're gonna do -7 there instead. We'll also decrease how frequently it spawns. Okay, I still feel like that is too much. This is kind of hard to balance, honestly. Let me try changing this to like 60. Okay, that seems a lot better. Obviously still needs a bit of work. Like that at least feels possible. Hmm. Maybe we even just keep it at a speed of 7. So then can go to practice. Okay. Skip through everything as usual. Okay, maybe still a little bit too tight on the bullets. We'll turn this down to like 8. So we do divided by 8, divided by 16. Try having them like that. Okay, I zoned out. I realize I need to skip this. Whoop. That feels a lot better, just having only 8 bullets. Like, obviously, you can still get hit, but it feels a lot more consistent. I just realized I got meleeed from the boss because when a boss despawns, it flies off the screen, so it just charged into me right there. It was in the perfect position to melee me. It was funny. But yeah, I'll probably call it there for now. Got a bit more work done. Um, but yeah, that was a really fun stream. I'm glad so many of you came along. So we're gonna go find someone to raid. And I got the idea I already have someone, so Emmeline VT is currently streaming art drawing Narissa Ravencroft from Hololive, so that should be a pretty cool thing. I realize I should have like a raid message, and I have an idea. What if we just give him the old razzle dazzle like this? I feel like that's cool enough. So yeah, that will be the raid message if there is anyone here. Yeah. Then it'd be raiding Emilime VT. Thank you all for watching. I stream every, what is it, like, I stream like 2 days from now, I'm pretty sure, as well. Yeah, so like every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday is when I typically stream. Yeah, let's go raid Emily.